the only radio show where FM means full moon. Listeners, I wanted to start tonight's show by addressing the obvious. You've probably all noticed by now that I'm not your usual host of the Midnight Minute, and there's a reason for that. That reason is unknown to me at the moment, since I was summoned to the station today by the pull of forces I'm unfamiliar with and terrified to question. When I arrived in the recording studio itself, the on-air light was replaced with a light that spelled out my name specifically. Inside the booth, there was a small pile of dust on the table, and the door closed and locked behind me. With that out of the way, let's get to tonight's stories. Our first story comes from Pine Barrens, New Jersey. Many of you know Pine Barrens as the regular hunting ground of the infamous Jersey Devil, who seems to have started hunting early this year, with reports of mutilated sheep, decapitated goats, and even a stolen infant coming out in the past week. If you're in New Jersey, remember, the night is dark and it hides its horrors well, so be sure to protect your homes and farmland as best as possible, and with whatever means necessary. Be also sure to remember, if you can see the devil, it's already too late. Speaking of nighttime horrors, let's take a look at our monthly werewolf report. Since the last full moon, our last show, there have been 3 local turnings, 5 deaths, and 8 townsfolk infected with lycanthropy. These statistics apply to your local area, and as such, occur no matter where in the world you are. My heart goes out to those affected during this lunar cycle. To avoid becoming infected with lycanthropy, be sure to always carry silver bullets and a revolver with which to shoot them. If one of your loved ones becomes infected, then it would seem that you have a choice to make. In tonight's sports segment, we have a story of a man who went hunting in Galloway Forest Park, Scotland. During the evening he entered the park, no birds flew over the trees within its boundaries. Given that the park is over 750 square kilometers in size, this is not only unsettling, but also inconvenient for the birds themselves. The man's body was found several days later, with his intestines, liver, and heart having been removed quite viciously, but with his skin left unbroken. Local authorities have no idea what creature this could have been, since its modus operandi matches no known monster or cryptid in common lore. My only hope is that if we do find out what this was, we recognize it, and don't have to add to the ever-growing list of things hiding in the darkness. More on this story as it develops. Traffic for tonight seems pretty clear, but going on the road at the current hour is not recommended, since one might encounter a woman in white. These spirits may seem harmless enough, and perhaps they are, but the fact that an echo of a dying mind long since past is now present in your vehicle should be enough to deter you. Likewise, if they're not harmless, then your blood will be recompense. So as always, remember the rules of the road. Hands on 10 and 2, and don't go driving after 12. Since it is the witching hour, however, here are some guidelines for those newly practicing witches. During any rituals or ceremonies, be sure not to do anything that might upset any of the cryptids or natural gods that inhabit your local area during your practices, since their retribution will not only affect you, but everyone else in the environment that they decide to destroy. Well, listeners, a long creeping shadow has appeared outside the door of the recording studio, and the walls of the station have started to bleed, which means it's nearly time to say goodbye until another cycle. But first I'd like to say thanks to all of you for listening to tonight's show. Like I said, I don't know why I'm here or how long I will be, but it's good to know that every lunar cycle, there'll be someone out there listening, whether it's you at home, or the voices in the studio that emanate from the walls. Let's finish off tonight's show with our cycle's numbers segment. As always, the numbers announced on each show contain the horoscope for the coming lunar cycle. May this horoscope help you survive until next time. As always, you're listening to the Midnight Minute, and for the very first time, I wish you good night, and may you stay safe until the next full moon. 8, 9, 4, 5, 10, 21, 19, 20, 8, 9,